Hello friends, you're back on the Infoport Psychology channel and we're continuing our Why Do Other Men Get a Chance and I Don't video series. Today we're on our 9th installment and it's going to be filled with helpful tips and colorful insights. What are we going to talk about today? Why is it important to avoid complaining if you want to make a good impression? How to properly surprise a woman and stay in her memory for a long time? Why do women value peace so much? And how do you become someone they feel comfortable with? Why shouldn't you try to please everyone? And is it true that expensive gifts don't always work the way you expect? These topics will not only help you better understand women's expectations, but also help you learn how to build comfortable and sincere relationships. Put a like, subscribe to the channel Infoport Psychology, and click on the bell so you don't miss anything. Let's go. Friends, let's face it. No one wants to hear complaints, especially in the first stages of communication. When you start a conversation by listing all the woes, you instantly turn yourself into a character in a tragedy, not a plot novel. It sounds like, I'm not ready to solve your problems, but I'm ready to load you with mine. If your first message is, everything went wrong today, the boss is at it again, and spilled coffee, then don't be surprised if she disappears from the horizon faster than you can finish your monologue about bad traffic. Why is complaining repulsive? It creates a negative atmosphere. When you complain, you don't radiate joy, but burden. The woman came to meet you, not to be a psychologist. If instead of a smile, she hears a list of your daily failures, her eyes will start looking for the nearest door. And yes, you run the risk of becoming that guy who always carries the clouds behind him. Complaining looks like weakness. Constant whining creates the image of a person who cannot survive hardship. It is not admirable. If your credo is, I have it bad, but I can't do anything about it, then don't be surprised that she'll choose someone more confident. It kills the ease of communication. In the first moments of getting to know someone, it's important to stay positive. Complaints turn the conversation into a burden rather than a light and engaging dialogue. If she wanted to relax and you start grousing, my life is a black hole, she thinks she's signed up to watch a drama, not a date. What to do instead of complaining? Talk about the positives. Even if it's been a broken day, find something good. This shows that you're able to see the light even in challenging circumstances. Example, instead of, my boss got me again, say, it's been a busy day, but I'm glad I got through all the tasks. If you're in the mood for whining, it's best to prepare a list in advance. 10 reasons why I've ruined my impression of myself. Focus on solutions, not problems. If you're interested in the problem mentioned, tell us how you dealt with them. This shows your maturity. Example, it was difficult at work, but I figured out how to solve the problem, and it worked. While the phrase, I just don't know what to do, help, sounds like you're calling on the team captain for help. Tell inspirational stories. Instead of complaining, tell about something that inspires you or makes you happy. Example, I recently started doing a project, and it really helps me relax after a hard day. If your story sounds like, I've been trying to build, but it's boring and I'm generally tired, she's unlikely to feel interested in you. Mistakes you shouldn't make. On the example of talking about exes. Even if your past relationship was complicated, it's not a topic to talk about on a first date. She's here to get to know you, not the story of your failures in love. Don't list your woes. No one wants to witness your personal crisis. If your story is, today I lost my keys, was late for work, and broke my phone, she'll think she's meeting a soap opera writer. Don't pass the blame. If something went wrong, take responsibility rather than making excuses. Example, instead of, I'm late because I got caught in traffic, say, I'm sorry I'm late, I'll make it up to you. When you avoid complaining, you create an image of a mature, confident person who is pleasant to be around. This shows your ability to deal with difficulties rather than passing them on to others. And yes, if your strategy is to burden her with your problems, don't be surprised that she will choose someone who knows how to handle life situations on her own. Friends, save your complaints for your personal journal. Share positivity, be confident, and inspire those around you. Like, subscribe to the channel Infoport Psychology, click on the bell, and stay tuned. In this part, we learned about how to properly communicate with a woman to stay in her memory. Let's keep going. Friends, let's be honest. Women love surprises, but that doesn't mean you have to turn into a showman or illusionist. The ability to surprise is not about loud gestures, but about attention to detail and creativity. And yes, if your plan is to perform the disappearing napkin trick, which you accidentally swallow, be prepared, it will disappear from your sight faster than you can finish your dinner. Why do surprises work? They show your attention. When you do something unexpected but pleasant, it shows that you've noticed her preferences. Example, if she mentioned that she likes certain flowers, take them up on it. If she said she dreams of trying something new, suggest just that. but came flowers from the nearest hypermarket with a red price tag and the words, "I just took the first thing that came across." This is more of an anti-surprise. Surprises create emotions. Even small, unexpected moments have an impact on communicating energy. It doesn't have to be expensive or complicated, it's the unexpected that counts. For example, if you unexpectedly offer her a taste of a strange author's ice cream with a nice bacon flavor, it will remain an experience not to be forgotten, but that doesn't mean it will be accepted. You become memorable. A woman remembers a man who knows how to go beyond the ordinary. It doesn't mean you have to turn the world upside down. Little things are enough. But don't try to pull off a surprise like, "I rented a zebra to bring you on your date." That's already moving from the surprise category to the scare show category. How to surprise a woman the right way. Make something personalized. Choose what she likes and create a surprise based on her preferences. Example, if she loves books, find the first edition of her favorite novel or author. If she loves coffee, take her to an unusual place where they can make authors' drinks, but don't give her a book signed by the author if she doesn't know who it is. The phrase, "Well, you said you like to read," won't help. Add lightness and humor. Don't make the surprise too serious or solemn. Women appreciate being surprised in a light and humorous way. Example, instead of a flashy bouquet, say, "I wanted to get huge roses, but I decided you would be better suited to these pretty wildflowers." Rather than, "I chose this flower because it reminds me of your soul, mysterious and beautiful." Eat too much drama. Be creative. Your idea should be unexpected but logical. It can be something simple, but with a twist. Example, instead of the usual cafe with live music, suddenly invite her to a cooking or painting workshop. The main thing is not to invite her on an extreme date like skydiving if you yourself are afraid of heights. The surprise may not be her delight, but your panic. Mistakes you shouldn't make. Don't do surprises for the sake of surprises. If you're doing something just for the sake of a tick, it will be noticeable. Like, unexpectedly, "I bought tickets to see a band you don't exactly know." Well, I do. Don't overdo it. Huge, over-the-top surprises can cause bewilderment. Example, don't rent a helicopter or have fireworks with her name on it. That leaves more questions than impressions. Her thoughts, has he decided to offer me his hand in marriage? Or is this a publicity stunt? Don't make surprises for her. Don't force her to agree to something she's uncomfortable with or doesn't like. Example, instead of, "We're going to the skating rink today because I decided to," say, "How about the skating rink? That would be fun." She doesn't have to agree to extreme ice dancing if her max is ice in lemonade. Surprises involve emotion and show your willingness to invest in the relationship. They create an atmosphere of ease, joy, and are much more memorable than routine actions. And yes, if you think a surprise is just texting, "Let's just do the usual," then you better not be surprised that she chooses someone who knows how to diversify her life. Friends, surprising a woman is an art, but it should not be an ordinary action. The main thing is sincerity and attention to detail. Give us a like, subscribe to the Infoport Psychology channel, and click the bell. In this installment, we take into account why women value peace and how to create an atmosphere where they feel comfortable. Let's move on. Friends, let's be honest. Women appreciate not only sincerity, but also stability. If you are super energetic today, all active, and tomorrow disappears like Wi-Fi in the subway, it raises at least questions. And no, it doesn't add to your mystique. It adds an item to your unreliable list. And yes, if your communication style resembles a flashing traffic light, on and off, don't be surprised that she'll choose a road without traffic. Why is that important? It creates a sense of reliability. A woman knows you're someone she can count on. If your behavior is erratic, it causes anxiety. Example, today you text her for 5 minutes and tomorrow you skip the whole day. It's not a romance, it's a thriller scenario called the vanished conversationalist. No one wants to guess if you'll reappear or if you've decided to take a trip around the world without any warning. You must create comfort. Peace in communication means that a woman can be herself without expecting sudden drastic changes in your mood or communication style. And if you start with, "I'm very interested in you," and disappear off the radar for 3 days, it's rather behaviorally reminiscent of someone who suddenly remembers that they left the iron on. A signal of your maturity. Being able to maintain stability shows that you are an adult who understands the content of regular contact. If your own strategy is to join the conversation once a week with the phrase, "So, how's it going?" you're more like a guest who accidentally wandered into someone else's chat room. How do you create a sense of attention in your communication? Keep regular contact. You don't need to text women for 5 minutes to prove your interest. Example, instead of, "Oh, I've been busy, but I thought I'd reply to your text from 2 days ago." Try, "It's always good to hear from you. How was your day?" If you bring up a girl once a month, it's more like a report to the accountant than a romantic conversation. Be consistent. If you start a communication with excitement, maintain that rhythm. Abrupt changes raise questions. Example, don't go from "you're amazing" to complete silence. Instead say, "I love talking to you, let's keep in touch." And if you first call her amazing and then suddenly forget her name, it clearly won't add to your score. Avoid emotional swings. Constant mood swings and sudden changes in behavior look strange. Example, instead of "I was too busy to answer, sorry," say, "Sorry for the delay, I was busy, but I really wanted to know how you were." If you start with a lot of admiration and then act like she doesn't exist, that's closer to the fiction genre. What you definitely shouldn't do. Disappearing without an explanation doesn't make you mysterious. It makes you unpredictable and unreliable. If you like to disappear, don't be surprised that her next question will be, "Are you in the witness protection program?" Changing tactics too often. The constant shifts from eagerness to indifference are perplexing. If you build yourself up as a savior hero at first and then suddenly become cold, it's more like a weird show where she doesn't realize what kind of game you're playing, promise more than you're willing to give. If you say, "I'll always be there for you," and then disappear for a week, it will make her wary. If your words sound like an advertising slogan, but you haven't confirmed their validity, expect her to start doubting. Peace of mind is the foundation of trust and comfort in a relationship. It is important for women to know that you will not take emotional swings and will be careful in your actions. If you think that abrupt changes in communication bring you mystique, they probably cause her to want to stay away from you. Friends, maintain stability in your communication. Regularity and sincerity build trust and make you people who are a pleasure to be around. Give us a like, subscribe to the Infoport Psychology channel, click the bell, and stay tuned. In this installment, we discussed why you shouldn't try to please everyone and how it can affect your relationships. Let's move on. Friends, let's get this straight. The world is organized in such a way that it is impossible to please absolutely everyone. Even ice cream, which is adored by millions, annoys someone with its coldness. So, if you think your goal is to win over every woman you cross paths with, it's not only unrealistic, but it also looks, well, weird to say the least. And yes, if you go in thinking, "Every girl should be thrilled with my light," don't be surprised that most will have the question, "What's this even about?" Why you shouldn't try to please everyone. It's exhausting. When you try to please everyone, you waste too much energy and forget who you really are. It's like being a stand-up comedian who tries to joke about all topics at once. Not only will you get confused, but no one will end up laughing. You lose your individuality. If you fit every woman, you become a one-size-fits-all guy who is good at everything, but nothing stands out. Being a rocker, a romantic, a chef. Bottom line? You look like a man who can't decide what to do. It looks insincere. Women appreciate honesty, and trying to please everyone looks like a game, not real communication. If you praise her taste, even when she points out an odd combination like avocado and pizza, she may think you're praising her out of pity. Instead, people with whom you share common interests, shared hobbies and values create a bond that is much stronger than trying to be liked by everyone. Example, instead of "I love yoga too," if you've never stood on a mat in your life, say, "I don't know anything about yoga, but I'm willing to try it if you show me." And if you say, "Yoga, that's cool, I even sat in lotus pose once while eating a burger," she'll definitely realize you're just trying to fit in. Be honest. Honesty not only helps you appear genuine, but also saves you time. If you realize that you don't share common interests or views, that's okay. Example, instead of "I love your gardening stories," say, "That's interesting, but I don't know anything about it. Why don't you tell me more?" But if you start praising her for her passion for indoor plants while confusing a ficus with a cactus, it will cause her more questions than admiration. Focus to a state of comfort. It's impossible to please everyone, but being yourself and finding someone who appreciates it is a realistic goal. Example, if you hate talking about fashion forever, you don't have to pretend you're a designer. It's better to openly say, "I don't know anything about it, but I'm willing to listen if it's important to you." And if you suddenly declare, "Oh, I know all the fashion trends," and then casually bring up flared jeans as a trend for 2023, be on the lookout for her weird look. Mistakes you shouldn't make, don't pretend. Fitting in with everyone is like wearing masks for all occasions. It doesn't work. If you tell her you're a Buck fan and then an hour later declare that you've never heard those old songs, she's likely to want to distance herself from you. Don't try to please at all costs. It's important to women that you be yourself, not someone who only says what they want to hear. Example, If she says she loves extreme sports and you can't stand it and don't like to take risks, say so. Otherwise, an airplane ride will be both a comedy and a tragedy for you at the same time. Don't ignore your own interests. If you forget about yourself because you enjoy fitting in with others, you are simply betraying yourself. It's like going to a sushi cooking class if you want steak. Bottom line, you're left hungry and even more confused. When you are not trying to please everyone, you show your confidence and personality. This not only promotes communication, but also helps build relationships of honesty and understanding. If you keep adjusting to everyone, you will eventually become like a chameleon who has forgotten what color it is. Friends, stop trying to be liked by everyone. Stay yourself, look for those who share your interests, and build honest relationships. Give a like, subscribe to the Infoport Psychology channel, click the bell, and stay tuned. In the next installment, we'll discuss why you shouldn't overestimate the effect of expensive gifts and how it affects your relationship. Well, friends, today we've covered a few important topics that will help you better understand how to build healthy and sincere relationships. We talked about why it's important to pay attention to complaints, how to properly surprise a woman, and why women value peace. If you found it interesting and useful, don't forget to put a like, subscribe to the Infoport Psychology channel, and click on the bell to not miss our next episodes. In the next installment, we'll discuss even more important points. Why is it important to understand her love language? Why develop emotional intelligence? How to stay interesting to her and to yourself. Friends, remember, success in relationships is about being yourself. Share your observations and stories in the comments, and we'll see you in the next videos. See you soon.